Hello and welcome to Talladega Superspeedway, where we're about to witness the first round in the main Racing League's exciting triple header. Hi, I'm Samuel Reiman. With us in the booth is Richard Losper, a road racer who now prefers ovals. Welcome, Richard.
Hi, Samuel. Hi, team. Glad to be here for this triple header.
Also joining us this week, we have a special guest with us tonight, Max Speed's wonderful, charming host, Mr. Rudy Cummings. We're honoured to have you with us, Rudy.
Well, thank you very much, Samuel, and it's great to be here with y'all.
And naturally, behind the scenes is our diligent director, Giancarlo Lenzi, making sure you don't miss a second of the thrilling action at tonight's 3 races. Speaking of thrilling, Richard, we're starting out at a track notorious for some chaos. Tell us a little bit about Talladega.
Yes, Samuel. Talladega is the biggest super speedway track certainly in America. It's 2.66 miles long. It has 33 degrees of banking. They're going to be doing 20 laps here. It's not going to be about who the fastest guy is, either in qualifying or in practice. It's going to be what strategy they use. Drafting is a must at a big track like this. And certainly we will be seeing guys partnering with other drivers to try and get themselves to the front. So it's going to be an exciting race as we see them gridding up now, and I'm looking forward to it immensely. Back to you, Samuel.
Speaking of strategy, let's not forget that there will be pit stops during this race. We'll get to that in a moment. As usual in A-Main, the drivers will be piloting the Chevrolet Silverado trucks tonight. Rudy, tell us a little bit about these beasts and what the drivers can expect out of them around Talladega.
Well, thank you. They're 600 horsepower here. They have a 4-speed manual transmission. They'll be reaching speeds topping 190 miles an hour. There's a lot of aero push around these, as you'll notice watching these guys go around here. The aero push around them when you get bunched up is really atrocious.
Yes, certainly, and as our friend Richard Losper mentioned, they are gridded up, and the pace car should be about to lead them off for one pace lap here before we get it ready for exciting 15 laps of racing. And I do observe that we do have a bit of a small field being led off by, I believe, Ayrton Ellis is on the pole. Richard will correct me in a moment if I'm incorrect. But even with 8 trucks, we will have to watch out for the big one, Richard.
Yes, I see that Ayrton Ellis certainly put in the fastest qualifying time of 51.558, which is a pretty good time around here. Brian Vanden Heck was second, Christopher Bartolotti in 3rd place, and Michael Koenig in 4th. Matt Brooks and Chris Kessler are in 5th and 6th. And then we have a couple of others who did qualify, Seth Hellman and Sean Ambrose. We do have 3 starters, by the looks of it, who did not qualify. So that's a total field of 11, Samuel.
And one of those drivers I notice is Blau Martins, I believe is the correct pronunciation of his name. He is Brazilian, starting at the tail end of the field. Rudy, sometimes drivers won't qualify just so they can start at the back, and I notice Martin Porter in the number 8 car is even starting from pit road so that they can avoid the wrecks here. But then again, don't you run the risk of losing the draft and perhaps falling out of contention for the win?
By all means, Samuel. It's a risk that you take being the odd man out, him being, he could be really fall back as far as maybe a half a lap behind him, and maybe there'll be a wreck or something that could eventually get him caught back up. But yes, there's always a risk involved.
Well, we'll certainly see a bunch of different stories could play out here tonight. Anyhow, pace car's pulling off right now. Ayrton Ellis will be in control of the field. Lined up alongside him is Brian Vanden Heck. No cautions in this race. It'll be green flag racing for 15 laps. And Ayrton Ellis has control of that field in that red and white number 14 car on the low line. We'll see when he pulls out the start of the race. They're in the green flag zone. They're under the way. Now the 37 car actually beats him to the line, Rudy. Could he get penalised for that?
No, not on the outside. You do not get penalized for passing on the outside.
All right, well, it looks like Brian Vandenheck is pulling out to lead with Michael Koenig, who was practicing a lot of tandem drafting in practice. And Ayrton Ellis currently, Richard, is out a teammate, although it looks like Christopher Bortolotti is picking him up here on the low line.
Yes, that does surprise me because we saw during the practice that Ayrton Ellis and Michael Koenig were drafting together, but it seems to me that Michael Koenig has teamed up with Brian Vandenheck at the moment, so it's all happening here not according to plan, especially if Ayrton Ellis was thinking of teaming up with Michael. Samuel?
The official word, we had a couple of cars trying to start from pit road. They didn't. We have 9 trucks on track, as you see Ayrton blinking a little bit there in third. It's a 4-truck breakaway at the front right now. Brian Vandenheck, Michael Koenig, Ayrton Ellis and Christopher Bortolotti. Rudy?
Yes, at the back of the field here, we're seeing the 8th and 9th place here hooking up together. And the 7th place, the 7th place of Seth Hellman, he could wind up to be the odd man out in this when they come around to take the flag. Or, yeah, when they cross the line, excuse me. Back to you.
Yes, certainly. There's 9 trucks here, and usually when you tandem, you're doing 2 trucks. Well, of course, if you have 2 and 2 and 2 and 2, you're going to have one driver being the odd man out. And unfortunately, right now, for Seth Hellman, that may be him in that Netflix Silverado, Richard.
Yeah, look, I am watching at the moment. I'm watching Matt Brooks and Chris Kessler just in front of him. They've teamed up. They're doing what they normally do, which is to go to the middle lane. And you watch these 2 guys catch the group in front of them, I'm telling you.
Change for the lead. Brian Vandenheck slides up. Michael Koenig must have said switch because now look, he moves up as well. And as they come to cross the line to complete lap 3 here, Ayrton Ellis, who fell back to third from the pole position, is going to take a lead with Christopher Bortolotti right on his rear bumper, Rudy.
Yes, that puts Michael Koenig there, one of the newest members here to A-Main Racing, into the 3rd spot. He has really showed some real muscle here today.
Yes, certainly. Now, they have completed 3 laps, and believe it or not, that is about half a fuel run. Half to a third of a fuel run, because these cars have been limited on how much fuel they can start the race with. They are all going to have to pit sometime between lap 6 and lap 9, we expect, Richard.
Yes, and guys, if you just have a look at Seth Hellman in the 98 truck, he has lost the draft unless something spectacular happens during the pit stops. He's a big loser out of all of this because he's the odd man out, Samuel.
Well, something spectacular almost did happen. Christopher Bortolotti getting very close on Ayrton's rear bumper, actually almost hooked him going down the tri-oval there. And also Ayrton's blinking a little bit. Christopher may be out a drafting partner if Ayrton loses the connection, or if he spins Ayrton off into the apron, Rudy.
Yes, not to revert back to what you were talking about earlier, but with Seth Hellman back there losing that draft, this is going to be very detrimental to him, and he was one of my strong picks here tonight to win this. Samuel?
Yes, and right now, honestly, it looks like he's the only one out of shot to win it, because even the drivers in 7th and 8th, Sean Ambrose and Blow Martins, I mean, they are out of contact with the leaders a little bit, but at the same time, if they're able to make up time in pit road, if leaders have a bad pit stop, they could be right back in there. Now, I said the pit window will be anywhere between lap 6 and lap 9. They're coming into turn 3 right now, Richard. For all we know, we may see a couple of cars heading down into the pits this lap, and that will be very interesting, because I didn't see anyone practicing pit stops in practice.
Yeah, at the moment we have Ayrton and Christopher out in front, and they followed very closely by Michael and Brian. But look out, because here come Matt Brooks and Chris Kessler, and I expect them to be catching up with the leaders as they make the switch right now. with Matt Brooks going up high, Chris going low, and Matt will get back on his bumper and try to push him. Matt is the better pusher of the two, I believe, Rudy. And as we've seen so many times before, these guys, when it comes to pushing, they are the masters.
Oh, by all means, Richard. These two here, I've never seen anybody that can come from as far back as some of these guys and come on and win this race. Don't count these two out by any means whatsoever.
Yeah, the leaders just made a switch down the backstretch. Ayrton let Christopher go in front of him, but in doing so, Michael Koenig, and I believe that is Michael's first lap led of this race. He currently paces the field, and I don't think it'll be the last lap that we'll see him lead, Richard.
No, not at all. And I noticed that the two, Ayrton Ellis and Christopher Bartolotti, they've gone, in the previous lap, they went right up to the high line, which is very risky because that wall is most unfriendly. But now they're back down on the low line with the Michael and Brian in the middle line. And it looks like Brian has got onto the tail here of Christopher. I'm not quite sure what's happening, but look at the other two, Chris and Matt. They just passed sorry, my apologies, guys. They've passed the car that was partnering with Brian, and now they are in third and fourth place. Rudy?
Yeah, I was watching there, not sure what happened to Brian Vandenheck and Michael Koenig. I wasn't on them when that happened, but if they got one of those bumper glitches, that could be very detrimental to them, and them losing their drafting partners cost them that 2 positions right there.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I've got to say, I'm reading the track, they're coming in. Look at Ayrton. Ayrton is going way too fast into the pits. He is still at 80 miles an hour as he crosses oh no, maybe he did get slowed down. In which case this is very beneficial to Ayrton. I don't know if he made pit road speed or not, but certainly he gained about 10 car lengths on the rest of the trucks as the field flocked into the pits. Sean Ambrose and Blau Martins pitted last lap. Now it's going to be very interesting, Richard, seeing how many tyres, if any of these drivers takes, how much fuel they take, as I see the right side on Ayrton's truck going up, and can they stay together as a pack as they come out of pit road, Richard?
Yeah, Ayrton's just exiting the pits right now. Christopher is following him. Looks like Chris Kessler beat Christopher Bartolotti to the exit of the pits, so he's currently now in second place. Matt Brooks is in fourth place, following Christopher Bartolotti. Brian Vandenheck's also out there. Michael Koenig is out there, but a little ways back now. So this has changed things up quite significantly, Rudy.
Yes, I was just on Michael Koenig there, Richard, and it for whatever reason there, I believe he kind of bobbled a little bit on his pit stop. It wasn't as good a pit stop as he thought it was going to be, and that could be costly to him. He's way back, probably about 4 seconds behind the guy in front of him. So, and back to you, Samuel.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to Michael there, but I know what happened to Ayrton. He got out of the pits too far in front, and right now he's been swallowed up by Chris Kessler and Christopher Bartolotti. Fortunately enough for Ayrton, Christopher Bartolotti decided to abandon Chris Kessler and go with him. So currently, Ayrton and Christopher working together up front. Chris Kessler in third, Matt Brooks in fourth, Brian Vandenheck in fifth. Richard?
Yeah, Matt now has to catch back up to Chris Kessler, and then they can start drafting again. But I've seen this happen before. Chris will just go out there. He might lift a fraction just to let Matt catch him, because there's no point in them running third and fourth like this. They will be slowing down significantly in comparison to the two in front. So we'll see what happens, as there are not many laps left in this race, Rudy.
Yeah, I was just back here watching Sean Ambrose and Blau Martins back here running in the 7th and 8th position, now passing up Michael Koenig, and that could be helpful to him, but I'm with you. I don't believe there's enough laps left in the race to help any of these guys way back in the pack. Samuel?
Matt Brooks has backed off. Matt Brooks was running fourth. He backed off, and Brian Vandenheck has picked him up. So they're going to start tandeming from fourth and fifth. They'll probably run down and pass Chris Kessler in third before the race is over. So we could see an exciting battle for third before this finishes. But as the leaders come to the line, it's 3 laps left to go, with Ayrton Ellis and Christopher Bortolotti with this race in the bags. What do you think, Richard?
Yeah, look, it's Ayrton Ellis and Christopher Bortolotti are certainly well out in front now. Chris Kessler currently is the odd person out, as he doesn't have a partner, so he's just circulating, but he is still in third position, which puts him on the podium. I don't think that's going to last very long. Matt Brooks has now picked up Brian Vandenheck as his partner, and it remains to be seen whether he will dump him once he gets up to Chris. That may well happen, as Chris and Matt are partners of long standing, so we'll see what happens as they come to complete lap number 13 here.
Yep, 2 laps left to go. Ayrton Ellis leading Christopher Bortolotti. Christopher sticking the nose of that Silverado out there, trying to get fresh air. I think Rudy, as there's a battle going on for third in the background, I think Christopher's just waiting to make his move out of turn 4 on the last lap. What's going on in the battle for third there, Rudy?
Well, it looks like Matt Brooks has dumped his partner off there, Brian Vandenheck, and hooked up with his previous partner of Chris Kessler, and those two are going to be pushing the daylights out of each other coming to this last lap, and Brian Vandenheck's not going to do that well on that, Samuel.
The battle for third could be just as interesting as the battle for fourth, as Ayrton Ellis comes around the tri-oval, crosses the finish line. 1 lap left to go, Richard. White flag is in the air.
That's right, and unfortunately for Brian Vandenheck, opportunism has prevailed here, where Matt Brooks used Brian to bring him up to Chris and then dumped him like a hot potato. So unfortunate for Brian, but good for Chris Kessler, because he was looking like he was going to be pretty lonely out there, Rudy.
Yeah, Roger that. Chris was, I don't think he was backpedaling waiting on Matt. He had the hammer down, but now we're seeing Matt Brooks getting a run on Chris Kessler here coming to the line, so it could be either one of these guys for third place.
Out of the tri-oval, look at this. Christopher Bertoli is making a move on that, and they did it too late. Ayrton Ellis has won the first of a triple header here at Talladega, and it was side by side for third there, Richard. Who got it?
I believe the screen is showing us that Chris Kessler finished a fraction ahead. In fact, we're looking at 53, like 13 1,000ths of a second. Chris Kessler got the third place by the looks of it, Samuel.
Amazing. There was also a close finish between Sean Ambrose and Blow Martins for 6th place. They finished 600ths of a second apart, but Ayrton Ellis in the number 14 car is the one who takes home the spoils. He wins by less than 200ths of a second over Christopher Bortolotti. Rudy?
Yeah, what a great race here tonight, guys, that these guys have laid down. They got kind of separated out, but, I mean, we've seen the side-by-side racing coming to the line here with a lot of these teammates, so great racing tonight, guys.
Yeah, and if we can, Giancarlo will bring Ayrton Ellis into the booth so we can have a word with him. I see him waggling the tail there as a gesture to show that he's won the race. He tends to do that a fair bit. Samuel, you talk to Ayrton?
Yes, Ayrton Ellis. Hello, this is Samuel Reiman from GSRC.
Hey.
Incredible finish. I could kind of see that Christopher was lining you up there for a move coming out of turn 4 or either the tri-oval. What were your plans as the white flag came out? Did you think you would wind up in victory lane here?
Well, before the pit stops, I didn't know who was going to win, but after that, I guess Michael and Yeah, Brian, I think they made like a strategy error, maybe took tires or something like that, which made their pits significantly slower, and Christopher and I were able to get a good lead, so that really helped us. And all I really had to worry about was Christopher making a move on the last lap. He didn't. He made it much later than I expected, and that helped me quite a lot.
Yes, I noticed some drivers did have bad pit stops. Michael Koenig, we believe, overshot his pit stall. It looked like you made about 10 car lengths of the rest of the field heading into pit road. I actually thought you were speeding entering. Talk us through that pit road entry you did.
Well, actually, I didn't see what was going on because I blinked out as everyone was entering, so I didn't know where anyone else was, but somehow I managed to gain a lot of time, so I don't know exactly how that happened, but it really helped.
Well, our director, Giancarlo Lenzi, is a little upset that you didn't do burnouts at the end of the race. Do you think if you win at Charlotte or Texas, you'll do some burnouts for him?
I wasn't going to do burnouts because I was talking to you, but yeah, I'll try to win on the next ones.
Alright, well, we wish you the best for you, Ayrton, and yeah, as I just mentioned, folks, we're going to be closing down this session and opening up a 20-lap race at Charlotte. Now, you don't have to go anywhere. You can just stay tuned right here to wherever you're watching this race, and we should have the next race up for you, 20 laps at Charlotte Motor Speedway in just a minute. Congrats to our to Ayrton Ellis again, winning in the number 14 here today at Talladega.